Well, good morning, my glorious subscribers! You don't need to know my name, you know who I am, don't you? Of course you do! Well, I have a little bit of news for you. I was going to post another random play video this morning, but unfortunately after looking at the footage last night, which is recording now, it's last night as of now, even though you're listening to this the next day, the footage got completely corrupted, and that's not happening. So now I have to make another quick video on limited time before it's 5 a.m., which it's approaching now. Oh god, why? Well, anyway, I want to make a quick little video, and you know what? I've been in a voice acting mood lately. Ever since the stream on Saturday, which, sorry if you missed that, that was a Fiona Frightening stream I did with a few friends of mine, including Linkar on the Team 4-Star people. Great people, Chaseface as well, they're all great people, and I had a lot of fun. But that stream put me in a voice acting mood, and I don't have enough time to do a full-on dub like I wanted to do this week, but I've been thinking about doing a video for a long time on the importance of voice delivery in acting. Not just voice. A lot of people confuse having a unique character voice as a more importance than the delivery of it. So, which is why I'm going to make a video today about 6 different characters with only 2 voices. That sounds strange, I know, but bear with me here. What if I were to tell you, viewer, that a lot of your favorite characters of all time, some of the most iconic characters in history, to be honest, were all done by the same type of voice, just delivered a little differently? Would that blow your mind? I will not discredit the importance of having a unique character voice. After all, it is the unique character voice that people remember, like Droopy Dog, for example. Everyone loves Droopy Dog. Everyone knows Droopy Dog because he's a unique voice. I can't do that voice very well, so I won't do it here. But it's a unique character voice that everyone remembers. But people tend to forget the importance of the delivery of said voice. And just by changing the delivery in a voice, you can change the character entirely. It's amazing. And you need to know that if you're ever going to do voice acting, or if you ever admire voice acting, you need to know the difference of, or the importance of delivery just as much as the voice itself. Let me just reiterate a little bit here so you're not totally confused. There are probably 2 archetypes of voice that I have heard in voice acting in general more than just about any other. Used by major people too, not just like low-level voice actors, but I mean, I've heard like both Stephen J. Blum and Troy Baker do these voices multiple times, or reiterations of these types of voices, adaptions, so to speak. And those 2 archetypes I'm just gonna kind of touch on today, and that would be, well, Kermit the Frog, and what I like to call the Frank Welker creature type voice. Just with those 2 voices alone, I can already think of like 6 extremely iconic characters that are totally different from each other. Oh, and before I do this, I just want to say again, I want to clarify that it is almost 5 a.m. now, and I'm just banging this out, so if I sound a little tired or out of it, I apologize. But anyway, let me just address the elephant in the room first of all, or, excuse me, the frog in the room, which I guess would be Kermit the Frog. Yes, Kermit the Frog is probably one of the most iconic voices that you could possibly think of as far as voices go, and he's got a very unique speech pattern. You know, he says certain words a little bit longer than others. You know, he moves his jaw a lot. You can't see my face right now, but I am really moving my jaw a lot more than I would be normally when I'm speaking, you know? And if I want to change that voice, I might want to change that voice a little bit more. You can tweak it to sound totally different. What I mean by that, imagine if you took Kermit the Frog and you merged him with an old world politician like Franklin Roosevelt, or Teddy Roosevelt for that matter. You put Kermit the Frog on a podium in like the 1930s or whatnot, or earlier, 18s even, and you were to drop his accent, and you were to make him declare basically everything he says very loudly. Well, now all of a sudden you have Marvin the Martian. He declares everything he says, no matter how insignificant, is always a declaration. Oh, goody! My Illudium Q-36 explosive space modulator! Well, you get the idea. I love Marvin the Martian. I love Kermit the Frog, but a lot of people don't think that they are incredibly similar in voice. If not the same voice, it's really just the delivery style that differentiates them from each other. And that is also true. Well, not as true, but somewhat true for the next one, which, if you were to take, like, Marvin the Martian, or Kermit the Frog, really, take Kermit the Frog, and to give him a more guttural sound, make him sound really guttural, like speak from your diaphragm as opposed to your throat, which you would normally do when you're talking as Kermit. Because when you're talking as Kermit, you're basically talking like there is a frog in your throat, you know, pardon the pun, but still that you're kind of talking that way. But if you were to talk from your diaphragm and really shout everything you say and slur your words, all of the sudden, if you make Kermit a loud drunk, you basically have Barney from The Simpsons. They're incredibly similar in a lot of ways, but different at the same time. Bartender, I think I'll have another one.
I think you've had enough there, Barney.
Excuse me, but I ordered my larva nachos over an hour ago.
And thus, if all three of those characters were in a bar. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I have too much fun with these kind of things. Anyway, I should move on to the other archetype, which I've probably heard just as often as the Kermit voice as I have, well, this one, which I like to call the Frank Welker creature voice. Frank Welker, one of the best voice actors in all of history, next to Mel Blanc and Jim Cummings. I think probably he was the first person, at least in major modern media, to use this voice. And basically all the voice is that it sounds like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. This voice is so basic, but it can be used a lot of ways. Like Stitch in particular, all you've got to do for Stitch is just sound like that, but sound like you're having a hard time understanding the language. Like if you're just like a foreigner that's just taking very careful time to listen or speak words very clearly, more so than an average person would, you know.
Ohana means family.
You know, he takes his time saying things, and that's Stitch.
Stitch is very careful to say words properly, so he can be understood.
But now, imagine in your mind that Stitch has lived many, many years on Earth. He knows the language fluently, he can speak it fluently, he knows it well, he can speak it as well as any regular human being on the face of the planet, or at least he knows English well. And then, imagine in an alternate universe, Stitch did not grow up on Hawaii, but he grew up in the middle of the ghetto.
Well, now all of a sudden you got me, Wad Man. He sounds like, you know, one of them Call of Duty playing people. He just sounds, he speaks really fast. He's almost halfway kind of gangster, but not really. You know what I mean? Imagine if you ever watched Breaking Bad, but he's kind of like if you mixed Badger from Breaking Bad with Stitch, and that's all Meatwad really is. Except, you know, in fact, he's a giant meatball, but you know what I mean.
Okay, so my Meatwad is a little hard to understand sometimes, but Meatwad in general is hard to understand, right? Well, whatever. It's anyway, I'm going to move on to the third voice, and the third voice is very different, like Barney was from the others, but the same. And we're just going to change some things about that voice to get something different, and that wind up, let's see, what are we going to do here? We're going to basically go back to the basic Stitch, and then we're going to, like, make him a little more fluent in the language, obviously. We don't want every word to be very carefully chosen like Stitch does. And then we're going to make him salivate. We're going to make him salivate like his favorite food in the entire world is in front of him, and he is just slobbering all over it. He cannot wait to get a bite. It is all slobber and a lot of breath. Occasionally we'll make him hiss like a cat, as weird as that sounds.
And basically, Precious, you get Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Gollum! Excuse me, I had a hairball. Oh, come on, man, not all over the carpet, it's the third time this week. You're one to complain about cleanliness, Precious. At least I don't leave grease everywhere I go. Stupid fat meatball. Oh, come on, man, you know that's a condition. I can't help that. You start at a crystal! hell no. Hey, get out my chips. Those are my chips, man. What's wrong with you? You can keep your stupid chips, Precious. We like things that are raw and wiggling. Fizzle! Oh, shit. I think you just ate Shake's goldfish. No! That was mine, Precious!
Okay, I'm having too much fun now. The video's pretty much over. I've explained, like, the differences. You can see that they are all the same voice, but very different from each other, and that's all I wanted to point out for anyone that's aspiring to be a voice actor or interested in voice acting, or just because you had nothing to do this morning and you saw this video in your subscription feed and decided, oh, why not? I'm going to watch that. So, there you go. That was the purpose of this video. Oh, and do make no mistake, I'm also not trying to, like, impress you all with, like, good or bad voice things. I just did this for example, really. I am not trying to prove that, oh, look at me, I have amazing impressions, you should all like and subscribe to me. No, I'm sure there's many of you out there that can do just as well as I do, if not more so. I know that a lot of voice actors, almost any, like, really big voice actor, I've heard these, do these voices before, especially Troy Baker and Stephen J. Blum. If you'll actually, I'll link a video in the description of Troy Baker doing the Everybody Walk the Dinosaur thing from, like, Saints Row 4. He does the what I call the Frank Welker creature voice. He does that, and he does it exceptionally well while singing Walk the Dinosaur. So I suggest you check that out in the description. And anyway, I've blabbled on for long enough. I've talked long enough about this subject. The video's pretty much over now. Thank you all for watching, and if you liked this one, you might like a lot more that's coming right at you. Good night, and Godspeed.